Thank you, Lily. Oh, good morning on this September 1st. Can you believe it? Oh, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how it keeps happening, that it just keeps going and going and going. But it's wonderful to have you here, and welcome to our Zoom folks. I'm hoping they're able to visit with us today and see what's going on. We have several things happening this coming week that I'm going to share with you, and of course I'm hoping that you're reading the Community Connections that comes out on Thursdays. And if you are not receiving that, please let Jerry know at the greeter station, and you can put down your email and your name, and she can make sure, and Reverend Maggie will make sure you're added to that list so you can find out things on Thursdays, because there's a lot of good information there. This Tuesday, which is coming fast again, is Taco Tuesday at 7 p.m. And that's just kind of a casual time to visit with folks. And there is a Zoom link that will come out to you specially for that time. And then also on that same night, 6:30 here, the appointed task force on the low-income housing possibilities will be meeting here on site and also on Zoom. And so that's going to be exciting at 6:30 on Tuesday. Also, let's see, choir practice next week on Thursday at 7 p.m. You're welcome to come and help us out. We have several people out of town, so we're going to sing in a mighty way today. Also on the 22nd, oh wait, I have one more place in between. The ICUUW convocation in Romania is happening September 5th through the 8th, and our own Julie Steinbach will be attending. So we'll get all the first-hand information. And on the 8th of September, Sunday after service, the Spiritual Life team will be meeting for the second time. And then the following week on the 15th, the community team will be meeting for the second time. And that team, we would really love some folks to come out that want to help with membership, because that's a rousing area that we love to have people excited about and possibly helping out with. And then also on September 22nd, CUPS will be having their Maybon services. Okay, that'll be on September 22nd. The Inland Valley Hope Partners annual projects at the border, I want to hear all about that. But Labor Day weekend, brought to us by the hard work of those who gave their support to the labor movement over the years in our country. Also, a big hello to those joining us on Zoom. And hello in this time of a new moon. New moons always create the best time to set intentions, because the nights get brighter and brighter as the days go forward. So having our new congregational year start on a new moon is really pretty meaningful, even if you're not a member of our pagan group. It's just really cool. Another cool thing is that at every first Sunday of the month, we like to sing happy birthday to everyone who has a birthday that month. So how many September babies? I know George is one. George has a big birthday. Jack too. Yeah, anybody else? Oh, Karen! Today? Oh, how awesome! Yeah, that's great. Happy birthday, Karen. Thanks for spending it with us. Thank you. So let's all sing happy birthday. When we get to the name, we'll try to squeeze in September babies. I know it's a lot of syllables, but we can do it. Yeah. We got happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, September babies. Happy birthday to you. And how fortunate are we that our choir is back. Yes, I am so grateful. So we will enjoy this day today. So before we get started with the service, with our ringing of the bell, I'd like to offer you a little bit of friendship time. So turn around and say hello to the folks that are near you, unless you're really introverted like my husband.
So on behalf of the introverts among us, we'll cut it short. See, this is you're an introvert too? Yeah, George is like, don't do that. I won't. Just today. We love our introverts. As our tradition, we ring the bell 3 times, honoring yesterday, celebrating today, and co-creating a brighter tomorrow. Our time together in worship is inextricably woven within our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with a flame that reflects the warmth of our welcome, the comfort of our connections, and light that illumines the path homeward. So may this flame ignite our curiosity. May this flame bring us remembrance. May this flame light us up with the awareness of the kinship that we share with one another and with all things. And as Lily lights our chalice this morning, let's hear the words of Reverend Janet Parsons, who writes, "The flame of our chalice this morning is a symbol of the warmth and brightness of our connections. The flame lights our way back together again from our separate summer lives, as it lights our way forward into this new church year filled with promise and renewal." I invite everyone to stand as you're comfortable and able, and we will sing our invocation anthem. Spirit of Life, we'll sing 2 times, English and then Spanish, and we'll follow that with our covenant. And please read along with the covenant with the words that are in your order of service. The slide is strangely missing today, but we know the words, don't we? We say, "We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to make choices for a healthier planet, and to live out our Unitarian, Universalist values every day as a loving community. Thus we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life." We're having a few problems in the sound booth today with our Wi-Fi connection, so we've had to cut off the Zoom. it disconnected from the computer again, even though we had repaired it at one time. Yeah, so we don't have the Zoom people with us. We usually have about 11 people that join us. So what I'll do, I'll probably send out, we're still able to record. So what we'll do, if you know anybody that likes to watch on Zoom, we will send out a link so that they can watch the service later. It's unfortunate, but it is time for our Time for All Ages. And I introduce Robert Tidwell, our Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration.
Good morning, everybody. So on Ingathering, sometimes we do a blessing of the backpacks or some other ritual to mark the beginning of the school year. And this year we weren't sure exactly who would be available and who would be here. So instead, I'm going to do a different kind of a blessing. So I hope you're all okay with the free-flowing nature of our Time for All Ages. But imagine for a moment that you're walking into a new classroom for the first time. It's your first day of school at a new school. Thoughts that might be racing through your head are, will the other kids like me? Will the teacher be nice? Will the class be hard? How much homework will there be? Thoughts like these will race through your mind faster than you can even realize that you're thinking them. You might even start wondering, am I thinking too much? You might look around the room and notice that all the other kids are drawing or talking to one of their friends or looking at their phones. You might look at your teacher and be scared, afraid that she'll call on you and ask you a question, and you didn't even realize that there was already homework and that it's due on the first day. And that's not even getting into all the thoughts that you'll have, like, what are they serving for lunch at this new school, and will it be any good? What kind of toys do they have on the playground, and where do you catch the bus anyway? And will you hear the bell? What does it sound like? These thoughts can be overwhelming and disorienting, but it's okay. Change can be scary and exciting at the same time. So just do your best to take a deep breath and hold it and remember that change, although it can be hard, it's also an opportunity. So I offer you all this blessing, whether you're starting your first year of kindergarten, or if you've just gotten tenured at a university, or if you've been retired for many years. May you be blessed with an opportunity to make friends with someone who will shape the way you see the world. May you be blessed with an opportunity to learn from those with more experience. May you be blessed with the challenges that push you to work harder to try to do something that you never thought was possible. May you be blessed to know that there are not only one, that you are not the only one going through all of these new scary things. And may you be blessed with tests that are fair, but that reveal areas that you can improve. May you be blessed with sustenance and joy and security. And to all the children and youth among us today, as you begin this new school year, may you find the courage in the unknown, curiosity in the familiar, and kindness in your hearts. May you embrace learning not just as a path to knowledge, but as a way to discover your unique place in this world. May your days be filled with wonder, your nights with peace, and may you find friends who lift you up and teachers who inspire you. To the adults, as you engage with the world around you, may you do so with an open heart, ready to learn and grow, just as the children do. And may your work be meaningful, your relationships deep, and your spirit nourished by the connections you make. May it be so. And now, will the children that are present please come up and pick up our chalice, and you guys can sing us to class as Jaryus puts up the slide.
Have fun, you guys. As a long-standing tradition of our congregation, we co-create ritual each Sunday as we gather an offering during our weekly worship service. It is a time for meaningful reflection on the unique gifts that we each bring and our contribution to the wholeness of our community. The many ways that our offering is spiritually symbolic to each of us. We engage the ritual of bringing forward our offerings to say that the physical action of giving is essential to our spiritual well-being. And here at Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist congregation, we also choose to share 50% of all offerings that are gathered and not earmarked to fulfill pledges with a charity that serves the needs of our relatives, our friends, and our neighbors, and aligns with our values and is pre-selected by the justice team and approved by the board. For this new month of September, we will dedicate our Share the Plate to the good work of the Inland Valley Hope Partners, and I invite Betsy Pettit to tell us a bit about them. Betsy?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. For me, I'm an Ohioan, and for me, September 1st means, okay, the leaves are all supposed to turn red and gold, and the temperature is supposed to drop at least 20 degrees. So I don't think Southern California is going to be doing that for me today, but we'll make do. We'll pretend. Many of you are already familiar with Inland Valley Hope Partners, I've learned. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, is it IVHP that we have used for Adopt a Family?
Yes.
At Christmas time? Okay, so that's our gift giving through them to adopt a family who cannot afford gifts for their children. So that's a lovely tradition. I also have from a very reliable source that we also collect weekly donations of food and cash, and by participating in the Walk for the Hungry, which, as Debbie mentioned, is October 5th, a Saturday. Inland Valley Hope Partners, is a faith-based, but not that I could find any particular faith, not-for-profit organization established in 1968. So they've been doing good work for a long time. It's supported by individuals, by 90 faith communities, businesses, community groups, and foundations. I was not familiar with IVHP before last Sunday's Justice Team meeting, so I needed to go and take a look. I decided to visit and meet some of the staff there as much as I could, and I was even more fortunate to tour their temporary housing facility called Our House. But before I get to that little visit, as Reverend Maggie noted, their vision is to do away with hunger and homelessness in our community. And they do serve all the areas that are in our general geographic area. Chino, Claremont, Laverne, Ontario, San Dimas, Upland, and more, and of course, Pomona, Montclair, Rancho, Diamond Bar, and up to Mount Baldy and other areas, other incorporated areas. They are housed in a very, very modest building. I don't know whether any of you have you visited them. A very modest building that is not easy to find in Pomona. But with a little persistence, I did. A couple of phone calls and some sleuthing around. Extremely unassuming. The shelter is connected to it. And again, it's, and I guess I should call it temporary housing. They don't really call it a shelter. But Our House can house up to 18 adults. They do not take in any single men, but they do take in couples, single women, women with children, families, for 30 to 90 days. And I got the packet that the residents have to live by. Now, people come there voluntarily, but it's quite rigorous. They're meant to save money, 95% of whatever income that they have. If they don't have a job, they need to be hunting for work. They get lots and lots of assistance to look for permanent housing. They have to take care of their own children while they're at our house. They have to contribute. They are considered, when they come into our house, they're considered members of the Our House family. And as such, everybody shares in the duties of taking care of a house. On my little tour with a very dynamic housing manager named Karen Abram, who, as I told her, I hope we cross paths someday again, and she just said, oh, we will. That kind of sums her up in a nutshell. That was her personality. But she was also showing two about to be residents around and just welcomed me in with the tour, and she's been there for 13 years, and she was quite ready and able to answer every single question that everyone had. The house, as it were, it's an institutional house, but the effort is made to make it as homey as possible, was absolutely spick and span clean, and I would be proud to have the very equally spick and span kitchen that I saw, and the refrigerator and so on. And we chatted with at least one of the residents who was there cooking. But anyway, we're hoping next Sunday to have an actual representative. I hope the CEO, Cammie Grosvenor, will be able to chat with us and to tell us more in depth about Inland Valley Hope Partners. I want to bring to your attention, as Debbie mentioned, Walk for the Hungry on October 5th. And we're hoping to get up a team together. And if you just don't like us, you can you can do it yourselves too. But it'll be fun, and I think more meaningful too. So save the date, Saturday, October 5th in the morning. And thank you all.
Thank you. So at this time, I invite you to come forward with your generous offerings given and received in a spirit of grateful fellowship. Thank you, Lily. Sharing our shine and shadow is something we like to do here at Monte Vista. There are things in our lives that are really hard to carry by ourselves, and some of us prefer that they do. But there are also things that we share as a congregation, and some of them are hard. And today we have a hard one. I received a text this morning from our member, and she asked me to read this to you. Please share with the congregation today that my beloved husband drifted away peacefully at 10 p.m. on Thursday night, surrounded by the love of myself and our 3 adult children. Yeah. We were all together with George, and he knew that we all loved him as we shared with him our gratitude for the kindness, love, and compassion and generosity that he shared with all of us during our very special lives with him. Yeah. I have a separate little chalice here I'm going to light in George's memory. And I didn't see anything in the basket from any of the congregants that are here today, but there are so many of us that are welcoming and grateful for the prayers of the congregation. 3 beloveds of ours that have been in the hospital recently and really appreciate all of the contact that we're giving them and the support for their healing. And that's continue praying for her. She sounded much stronger this week, and Debbie and I have been on her case, let's just say that, about doing better self-care. And then, of course, our beloved Terry, and also Magma was fortunate to be able to see this week. There's also, from a distance, for someone who's from the East Coast, and you say, my neighbors live in Rancho Palos Verdes. You know, because the areas here tend to be a little more separated into little neighborhoods, but our neighbors that live in our PV and those who are, some of them members of our congregation of Pacific Unitarian Church, are struggling. They got an emergency message last night. We all know from the news that the land is shifting at Portuguese Bend really quickly, but that's really picking up speed for an unusually quick. So I just thought we could mention them and hold them in our hearts as their beautiful homes. They can't do anything except allow it to happen. Yeah. So I invite you to join me as I offer a prayer that will end in some time for us to have some shared silence, and then the choir will lead us into our gentle song, Return Again, number 1011 in the Teal hymnal. This prayer is written by Reverend Lynn Cox. It's called The Courage of the Journey. We open to the spirit of life and love, known by many names and yet fully known by no one. We give thanks for this time together in this place of renewal for our soul. We give thanks for the ability to begin again after every hard thing, after the illness, after the urgent repairs, after the losses, after meeting any and all challenges that we find before us. We offer one another our courage, the courage they need to continue on their own remarkable journey, the courage to speak up for the well-being of others, the courage to take care for themselves and the planet, courage to ask what change is still needed, courage to love boldly. May we embody our faith and our values in living words and in deeds. May our hearts open to embrace humility, grace, and reconciliation. May we honor our ability to learn and grow with a craving to do so, to let that spirit of love and truth work its transformation above, below, and within us. May we continue to embrace a spirit of hospitality, the willingness to be a dwelling place for the holy that resides in all beings. May we be at peace in the world, even as we are in motion through unprecedented times of change. So let us cultivate together the strength that we need to welcome every kind of gift and all manner of ways to be on this journey together. And to this we add the silent prayers of our hearts. Blessed be. Your order of service says, and the plan was to show you a video of our UUA president right now speaking about Ingathering.
Beloveds, it is my joy to bring you greetings, celebration, and welcome as we lean into a new congregational year. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a time, what a moment for us to be together. I want to begin by acknowledging that we are in a time of great transition a time of great need in the world, that this can put immense pressures on us, on our leaders, on our members, on our communities, on our constituencies. And we know that the work that lies before us is a long journey work, not a short run ahead. And how we are with one another, how we support each other, will have everything to do with how we meet the moment in this coming year. I want to reassure you that your UUA is excited to serve as your colleagues, your collaborators, as those who can help resource us all in these times. We're here to help equip Unitarian Universalism to meet this moment together. This year, your UUA organizing strategy team has launched UU the Vote 2024 to continue to build our collective power in community between and beyond the election cycles of this country. In the coming months, our goals are to get an even larger number of UUs involved and to live ever more fully into answering this question: what does love require of us in this political season and beyond? Now, we know also that life in our congregations can feel like it is in a constant state of action and reaction, even as so many of us are leaning into new and creative ways to live this freely chosen life in community. All of us here at your UUA hold these struggles and these opportunities together with you. And I hope that we can all turn to one another in the coming months as we live out our mission, grounded in Unitarian Universalism's insistence that no one is disposable, that all communities are worthy of safety and thriving, and that we will all get free together. My first year as your UUA president was a time of deep listening, of relationship building, of traveling to be with so many of you across the nation and beyond, to help work to facilitate building structures of communal care within our association and beyond. We've laid groundwork together for new initiatives like the climate justice revival that is coming in just weeks at the end of September, and working to meet the moment together in these times. We've carried forward ongoing processes like UU the Vote, like responding to the Widening the Circle of Concern report from our Commission on Institutional Change, all of which can bring us to deeper levels of commitment to mutual thriving. This and so much more is in the work between and among us. There is so much good that is happening at your UUA, and we look forward to continuing to share all of that with you in the coming year. I also want to celebrate that we just held a historic General Assembly, all virtual, this past year in 2024. After a democratic process involving thousands of Unitarian Universalists discussing our faith's values and core theology, delegates at our 2024 GA voted decisively to approve a new statement that articulates those historically grounded promises and commitments in accessible and compelling invitational ways. We are an ever-evolving tradition, and we honor the various expressions of our shared values and principles that can serve to unite our congregations and communities as we celebrate the work of those who brought us this far toward a renewed expression of our lasting legacy in the world. And I know there are many of us who still need to live into these renewed, these expressed values that are feeling some loss over language, even in our bylaws. I want to say that we're living into these changes together, that we will give them life in community, as we have done many times before. I look forward to this continued journey together. One of the most significant actions we took at GA this past year was to approve with overwhelming votes of support our business resolution embracing transgender, non-binary, and intersex and gender diverse people is a fundamental expression of UU religious values. This was more than a bureaucratic affirmation of our deepest commitments, because business resolutions once we pass them, require your UUA to implement them as core to the association's work. This vote, your vote as Unitarian Universalists, solidifies and strengthens our ministry to and with transgender, non-binary, and intersex members of our communities. It strengthens all of us in our commitments to our liberal and liberating faith. At this time of ingathering and beginning again, this time of renewal, our call is not to do more things. It is instead to be together, to make a commitment to our communities. The simple act of joining together in community is an expression of faithfulness in such divided times. It lies at the heart of how we practice our Unitarian Universalism. Our lives together in our congregations and our communities serve to embody this faith. We all are how Unitarian Universalism shows up in the world. May we continue to come together now and in the coming months, find new ways to express our care for one another, even and especially in the presence of real differences. This is how we meet the moment, by practicing our faith together. Welcome, beloveds, to the promise of a new congregational year. I look forward to holding the power and the promise of our tradition with you.
So we will move ahead, and I invite you to enjoy our beautiful MVUUC choir. Thank you so much. Today we gather to share in a traditional ritual, one that has had many expressions over the past 40 or so years, but today marks the official start of our new congregational year, and we also mark a shift in our congregational life toward a more intentional time of learning and working together toward our common goals. It's a time to celebrate those last moments of summer and to cover our children and our teachers with the blessing for the new year that is just opening. And also, and especially in these tender seasons, our ingathering is our time to curl inward for just a bit and open up the spaces in our hearts that we've been too busy to tend to over the summer. Ingathering invites us to enter into a different kind of space, a space to pause and reflect, to stand in awe and honor of who each of us are. We freshen our view of this beautiful, quirky, compassionate gang of unlikely kin that we choose to share our lives with and to build this spiritual home with and plan to stick with. Ingathering gives us time to stop everything and to look around at all that there is here, to dust off and polish up and tend to. And I can testify that the board has been working very hard all summer, and we all do well to offer them our gratitude for the many, many ways that they've been caring for the many aspects of our congregational life together. So maybe, and especially now, we can take this special time to see what we have here with fresh eyes. Eyes that know how fortunate we are, not only for where we've been in the past, but for where we're going. Eyes that can clearly see that we want others to be able to have this faith in their lives too. So we take this Sunday each year to stop and celebrate our homecoming to this faith and to this community. We know that coming in for a bit of rest is important. Doing so helps us shift our paradigm a bit and freshen up our commitments. It gives us dedicated time to turn our attention to the community that roots us. It gives us grounding that strengthens each of us. Because sometimes we just need to stop and look around and remember why we feel at home here. Ingathering is a good time to enter that space of home and amid the swirl of difficult events in our world right now, to come here to catch our breath and to offer gratitude for that feeling that coming up on the porch, that's what it feels like coming here. Up on the porch, we smell cookies baking. We find the kitchen door wide open, and we drop all of our heavy baggage here and just sit long enough to feel deep in our bones the belonging that many people are searching for. And our hearts say to ourselves and to one another, welcome home. Reverend Kimberly Carlson wrote about this in her reading that she titled, A Place of Belonging and Caring. That's our theme for today. It is not by chance that you arrived here today. You've been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you, there's a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. And through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilling a belief in a shared purpose, a common and precious resource that belongs to all of us, especially when we share. And so you began seeking a beloved community, a people that do not put fences around love, a community that holds its arms open to every possibility of love, and a heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts. So welcome home. Welcome to our place of belonging and caring. And when we let ourselves feel that, it fills all those empty spots, but not for our own benefit. We are not filled to overflowing and feel the need to offer it to others as well. It's not just for ourselves. None of us grow when any of us come only to receive. But when each of us brings their gifts to offer as well, then that's when we grow as one. We know how essential it is, but not only to receive the benefits of our congregational life together, but to also sense the need for all of us to serve one another. Come in, rest, remember, and serve. And please be sure to tell others where to come for some of the same. While I was reading to prepare this message for you today, I was touched by the words of Reverends Rachel Rott and Amanda Popova. They wrote, for our ingathering. Welcome. Welcome all of you with questions, you seekers of truth with a capital T, pilgrims longing for sanctuary, travelers needing harbor from the storm. Welcome all who are holding on by a thread, you who pushed through your fear because something told you that you deserve to belong, and we're glad you're here. Welcome home. Welcome you who seek community for your children. You entrust your precious ones here, and we commit to nurture and to respect them. So welcome children and youth. You gift us with your joy, your curiosity, and your trust. So welcome home to this home that love has made. This home is full of the love that the founders felt when they planned out these walls and raised these beams above us, these beams that now depend on us to repair them. It is full of the prayers and wonder of all who have ever worshiped here, those who have celebrated here and grieved here, the babies that we have dedicated, the couples married, and oh, the family members that have mourned here. This is the home that love made. It is full of the love of our young adults who learn and laugh together as they grow into their own sense of purpose and meaning. It is full of the love of the staff who have served it, full of their hopes for this congregation, full of their hard work and their acts of dedication. It is full of the love of our choir and of our Lily, of the love made so clear in the voices and lifted in song on this and every Sunday morning in the seats. This home is full of love. The love of this community is a love that we hone and polish and keep dusted off, one that we hold dear and would fight for given the chance or the need. It is a love that holds us together as a people, no matter how difficult things can be and how tender our seasons become. We know we have something here that the world needs, and may we always be finding new ways to share it. May we long to say, welcome home. Welcome to the home that love built. Welcome home to MVUUC, our place of learning and growing, our place of challenges, change, and hard experiences, and our place of ritual, the tonic for the soul that longs for meaning and expression and comfort and community. The welcome here on this day of ingathering. Many Unitarian Universalist congregations follow this annual tradition on a Sunday near Labor Day that includes a water communion or a water pouring ceremony. Our denomination's website tells the story that in 1980, two Unitarian Universalist women, Carolyn McDade, who wrote our anthem, Spirit of Life, and Lucille Shuck Longview, were asked to create a worship service for the Women in Religion Continental Convocation of Unitarian Universalists that was held in East Lansing, Michigan that year. They wanted to create a new ritual, one that spoke to the connectedness to one another and the totality of life and to our place on the planet. And they included a new to them at the time, inclusive symbol that reflected women's spirituality, water. And so we carry that tradition into our ritual today, to speak to our connectedness to each other, to the waters of life, and to our place here as we share in this ritual of water at this time of ingathering. And I invite Jean Coates to open our ritual with a reading by Reverend Marnie Harmony. And you don't have the mic yet. Okay.
I could use my teacher voice.
Testing, there you are.
And the reading this morning is I Say It Touches Us by Reverend Marnie Harmony. I say that it touches us, that our blood is seawater and our tears are salt, that the seed of our bodies is scarcely different from the same cells in seaweed, and that the stuff of our bones is like the coral. I say that the tide rolls in on us whether we like it or not, and the sands of time keep running their intended course. I say we have to go down into the wave's trough to find ourselves, and then ride her swell until we can see beyond ourselves into our neighbor's eye. I say that we shall never leave the harbor if we do not hoist the sail. I say that we have got to walk the waves as well as solid ground. I say that anyone who walks with a knowing of this will remain free of any form of anchor. May we be joyful to discover that the journey calls us, supports us, and finds us worthy. Amen, and blessed be.
Pouring of water is an ancient tradition of blessing and communion coming together that brings great meaning to many cultures around the world and throughout time. For today's ceremony, we embrace the Unitarian Universalist tradition of water communion for our community. Rather than the ritual for clergy alone, I invite you to come forward. Come and take up some of our waters and offer your blessing on it as we pour our blessings for our new church year into the container that's provided. Please offer your blessing in your own words, in the silence of your intentions, or by just repeating these words with blessings of love, healing, and hope. Our communal waters that have been blessed by our ritual will be poured out onto our land in ceremony following the service today. I invite you to come forward. Some of you may recognize that the container we're using for this ritual comes from the top of the chalice bird bath that we have in the garden. Thank you, everyone. Our sending song today is one that's very familiar to those who have been in Unitarian Universalism for a bit. But I'm suddenly realizing that the feeling and the spirit after our ritual is a little more gentle than what this song calls for. So I feel like, oh, that's kind of a spiritual whiplash. But for those of you who love to sing our favorite UU hymn, Blue Boat Home, I invite you to stand as let's just turn in a circle and change the energy a little bit. And then we'll sing with all of our hearts, we'll sing out. Blue Boat Home. Beautiful, that sounded great. Let's recite together our unison benediction. It should come up on the screen, there we are. We leave this gathered community, taking with us our connection and our sense of belonging. In this hour together, We have inspired our hearts, our faith, and our care for the world. Until we gather again, let's be strong, be well, and be kind. Let's enjoy the postlude.